Right, tonight's topic is the asymptotic wisdoms in the non-abelian gauge theory, and I'll refer to the contemporary theory written by the Paskin and Schwader. And in the previous videos, we studied about some local gauge theory and some non-abelian gauge, and asymptotic rhythm properties of the non-abelian gauge theory is Barnes goes of the contemporary theories of the mind study. So now it starts. So uh, this is given some Lagrangians as Young's theory. There are some kinetic terms of the gauge boson fields and the interactive terms with the covariance derivatives discussed in the previous videos. And the field strengths can be defined as commutators of the partial derivatives the gauge field, and there are additional non-abelian terms with the structure constants in the commutative relations. It is called field strength. Also, we can define the covariant derivatives with the generator T on the gauge boson field A mu. And such a covariant derivative gives the interaction between the gauge boson fields and the spinors, as discussed in the previous video too. And from this, if we insert the field strengths and the covariant derivatives into the Young's Lagrangian, then there will be some free terms, some free spinor field and the free gauge boson field as kinetic terms, and there are some of these three interaction terms will be appear. First term is Wallon's spinors and the gauge boson three vertex interaction. There are psi bar and psi and a mu, the gauge boson field, and the generators. So the V algebra is a law of the charge. And there are sharp interactions of the gauge boson field as a three vertex and the ball vertex. And because of the non-abelian properties of the generators in the V algebra, there will be the structure constant will be appears in the interaction term. Such a non-abelian gauge theory has a sharp interactions of the gauge boson terms in the Lagrangians, so it is a very important properties of the Young-based theory. And we will give the one-looped corrections of the gauge boson self-energy is a very similar process of the photon self-energy in the QED. But in here, there are some additional corrections. In the QED case, there are only the Bernomian's loop. There are additional loop correction as a 4 vertex and the 3 vertex for the non-abelian case, and there will be some ghost field. I will explain about what the ghost in another video. And such a Bernomian loop will give some such terms as a divergence part. Such an up is some species of the Bernomians. The CR is the generator's representations of the V algebra, so R is a representation. And because there are some product of the trice, the products of the generator and the trice of it yield after such a constant term CR. Such a generator terms coming from the interaction term. But similarly, products of the structure constant also gives us some of the constant denoted as a C2s of the C. So such a thing is the divergent part in the one-loop correction. And to remove the divergence part, we normally introduce the counter term. And such a counter terms included in the such a endpoint correlation function or green function, and such endpoint correlation function should be the scale invariant, and it can be represented as a Coulomb-Salmasic equation. So it means that the their arm is a scale, momentum scale. The endpoint correlation function equal to the 0. So if we expand of these exact differentials as a partial derivative, partial arms and the partial g such thing, and there will be appear some beta function or below equation. So from this we can obtain the beta functions, and that is partial derivatives of the counter terms. No, we can obtain the beta function from this. The point is there is a divergence part of the one loop, and we can cancel the divergence part by the addings of the counter term. Such a counter term makes some shifts of the parameter. The parameter such a coupling constant and the mass should be the scale dependent. Endpoint Coulomb function or grid function should be the scale invariant. It can be represented as a Coulomb-Salmasic equation. Independence or scale invariant. So from this, we can obtain the sum of the beta function, which is scale dependent behaviors of the specific coupling constant, defined as dz, dln mu, whereas mu is some scale. So if we solve such a beta functions of below equation, then we can obtain the learning coupling constant, which is the coupling constant is dependent of the momentum scale. And in each scale, we can call that such a Lagrangian with the each learning coupling constant is called the effective field theory. So the results of the beta functions are given like that. There are some constant from the V algebra properties, products of the generators and the products of the structure constant, and the species of the fermions, and it is very small volume, so the beta function have the negative values in here. So if the momentum scale mu's increase, then coupling constant decrease because of negative values of the beta function. It is called an asymptotic rhythm. But the case of the SDU and V algebra, it can be reduced like that. And if we solve this beta functions, the flow equation, then we can obtain the learning coupling constant. That's the result of the learning coupling constant for the RCU and V algebra. So this is the learning coupling constant and the momentum scale dependence and the sub V algebra property. And if the mu momentum scales are increased, then the coupling constant decrease. It is called an asymptotic rhythms of the non-Abelian gauge theory. It's coming from the sort of interactions and the non-Abelian properties of the generators in the V algebra. So let's compare with this behaviors of the learning coupling constants between the QCD and the QED. So in the QED case, if the momentum scales is increased, then the coupling constants also increase. And at the specific momentum scales, learning coupling constant goes to the infinity. Such a scales are called lambda pool. And if the momentum scale is decreased, so distance scale is increased, then the coupling constants are decreased, as shown in here. It can be interpreted as inverse scale laws. because electric charge or such a potential in the clones both are proportional to the inverse case of the distance. Also, we can interpret it as a screening effect. If there are some of the charges in the centers, then there will be some of the vacuum polarization. So, vacuum fluctuation. So, uh, there will be the dipole, electric dipole moment will be appears, and it will make sort of the screening effect. So, the QED coupling constant will be decreased in the bar distance. In the control, QCD or non-abelian gauge theories has a different behavior. As shown in the previous learning coupling constant, if the amount of scales increase, coupling constant decrease. As shown in here, we call that asymptotic freedom. In the contrary, if the moment of scale is decrease and the distance scale is increase, then coupling constant increase, as shown in this curve. And that is called sometimes the color confinement. And it has a behavior sort of the spring force, which is proportional to the force is proportional to the distance x. And that's why there is a new pre-Kirk. All Kirks are compounds in the some hadrons, like as baryons and some mesons, which is some bounded system. And also we can interpret sort of this asymptotic wisdom as an anti-screening effect. The dipole moment of the color charge is opposite directions compared with the QED case, and so it amplifies the charge at the centers, such a color charge LAD or R. So it makes some anti-screening effects. So coupling constants increase at the bar distance. So same behaviors with the spring force. The points of the video series is non-abelian gauge theory makes some self-interactions of the gauge boson beads from the sub non-abelian properties of the generated in the V algebra, and it makes some negative Zervada functions from the one loop corrections, and it makes us some of the asymptotic freedom, and that it makes a very different behaviors sort of the learning coupling constant tendency between the QC and the QED. And I think in these videos, many things are skipped, like some of the quantitative, the calculation process and some proof. So I will explain the details in the next coming videos, and there will be some of the many things that I study, like the one loop collection, loop momentum, dimensional regularization, and there's a counter term and the Wilsonian renormalization group schemes and learning coupling constants. So I think also some non-abelian case deal with property like a real algebra and ghost field. So I think see for the videos and the finish of the handwriting physics.